on. It's only Thursday. She was only on a few days ago. What's going on? It's it's the 18th of April and I'm afraid to say I'm back. I'm just back. I have been lured out. It's just such glorious, glorious weather. I've got time off work. Mike's got time off work. And I've got to say, you know, the first place we want to be is down at the allotment. And so today, I mean, so much gets done that you don't see because I'm so slow at getting my videos out. So today, I'm just going to show me actually doing some things. I'm going to get my broad beans in. I'll show you them in the greenhouse in a minute. They're looking a bit sorry for themselves. I'm going to get my broad beans in. I've got a little job I want to do, putting like a little wall around my apple trees, and I'm going to plant my cheeky prince. And what else am I going to do? I don't know, I'm just going to have a look round. But yeah, it was too nice an opportunity to miss. So I've brought you back down. I can only apologise back so soon. But come on, we'll have a little look around. Okay, little fellas, time for you to go out. Okay, this is where they're going to go, in our bean bed, or legume bed. Basically, this is the one that had the winter rye in, which, to be honest, we probably wouldn't grow again because it's quite a tinker to dig in. But this has all been dug over now. I'm just going to rake it. I'm going to rake in some 6X, and then we are ready to plant the broad beans. See me again. Yeah, what we were saying about the green manure, the winter green manure. This is the winter rye, and you can see it's been chopped off and it's started to rot down. But to be honest, it's quite a tinker to dig in. Whereas the field beans, once you trim the top off them, they're fairly shallow rooted. I know the roots are really, really good, but they just rotted down beautifully and seem to improve the soil almost overnight. So I think we'll stick with field beans in future if we're going to do it. Right, okay. What we've got here are 2 rows of peas. So I want to leave, I don't know, about 18 inches along there. Let's see, hopefully that's reasonably straight. Is that going to be big enough? So that we can walk between the plants. Actually, yeah, about 2 foot's probably ideal. Let's see if that's about right there. Yep. And then these are my little broad beans. And again, I don't know if you remember the ones that I put into over winter over there, and I planted in November, hoping that we'd be looking at lovely big broad bean plants by now. Rotted. So these were my second chance broad beans, and these are the ones I sowed a month ago. And they've been sitting in the greenhouse ever since. Absolutely ready to go. Look at that. So I'm going to put them in at about, I don't know, some people say 6 inches, some people say 18 inches, some people say the width of your hand. I'm going to go somewhere between the two. And yeah, that's it. All you need to do with these, you've got your nice prepared soil. Always make sure you water your plants before you get going. And then, oh, it was so nice. What a lovely feeling to get that in. What am I going to say? Should I go for the width of the trowel? I'm going to go for the width of the trowel. That's about 12 inches. That makes it easier to space out, yeah? And just repeat. Look at this now, this soil now. The line, this soil now is beautiful. So, next one. Beautiful, beautiful plant. I love broad beans, fresh broad beans. When I was a kid, we only ever used to have them. Well, I don't know how they used to arrive, but they were always, I don't think they were frozen. I'm pretty sure they were tinned, probably were, it was the 70s. And they never tasted of much at all. They were more like a butter bean. would say 2 double rows, but it only looks like 1 double row and half a row. But this start of a row here, all down here, has been filled in with seed, just some broad bean seed, Aquadulce Claudia. So hopefully we will get some sort of harvest after all. Got Mike just doing a little bit of companion planting here. What are you doing, Mike?
I'm planting in some of these little spaces around our strawberries here, some little Stuttgarter Giants from set that we've just got left over. And they're supposedly good for the strawberries, they're supposedly good friends and stop the strawberries from getting disease and vice versa. But the fact is we've got some space, so we might as well use the space. And whether or not it's true or not about companion planting, we're going to get some extra onions that we wouldn't have otherwise had, we hope.
So this bed, really, I mean, this isn't even our main strawberry bed, is it? This has got, where Mike's hand is up there. Mike, can you point to that bush? That's either, a little fella, that's either a tayberry or blackberry. And then at this end, hold on, we've got a similar sad little bush. And that's also either a tayberry or blackberry. So basically I lost the labels. So one is one and one is the other. And save just all this bed going to waste the first year while they're establishing. We popped in...
a few years.
Maybe for a few years, yeah. We popped in some strawberries that we were given. Osbear garlic as well. We've got quite a nice line of garlic coming up in the middle there. And now the onions. So yeah, if you've got a bit of spare space, even if it's not on your plan, you know, it's better having something than nothing. Okay, well this is the time of year when there's all sorts of challenges going on in the YouTube community and probably everywhere else as well. I've already planted far too many sunflowers to participate in Nick's Sunflower Challenge, even though I say I'm not competitive. And you know, it's just all fun and it's taking part that counts. I've planted quite a few. But the other thing that I'm going to do today, I was going to say live, but clearly not, is Paul and Richard's Cheeky Prince Challenge. And what this is, if you follow Paul and Richard, there we go, you'll know what it is. But if not, why not get over there and see what's going on. Last year they had a cross-pollination thing happened with their crown prince and their Uchikikuri. So what they've done, they've kept the seeds from the hybrid fruit and basically have sent them out near and far, hither and thither, for people to take part and grow those seeds on and just see what the results are going to be. Will it be a case of them reverting back to Uchikikuri, Crown Prince, or will there be a new strain of winter squash that will finally take over the world? We won't know. We won't know till at least October. But anyway, thank you very much, Paul and Richard. You know, they've been so generous. They've sent these seeds out. I know they were saying the other day on their video, as far as Australia, Finland, Norway, Mexico, world domination. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the different climates, what differences the different climates make. So here we are, as promised. Oh, before I do that, I'll show you the seeds. Yes, they just look like standard winter squash seeds. And then I'll put them back in there because I realise I haven't actually filled my pots yet. Okay, I'm filling my pots first of all. Jane. I'd just like to say a word about the compost. A few people that I know over the last year or so have had, this is how I tamp mine down, all sorts of problems with compost. And it's affecting the germination, the seed sowing compost, or basically having great big bits of roots and things like that in it, which isn't really on. But I've got to say, I mean, very often, if I'm just in a particular shop and I need some compost, I'll just grab whatever's there. But given the choice, and I'm not being sponsored for this at all, I wish I was, I'm open to sponsors. I'm not, well I might be. This is Jack's magic, and can you see? It's actually a really quite nice fine compost. And someone asked, they said, well, do you use it for seed sowing as well? Because it's just a general multi-purpose. And yeah, I do, because it is so fine. And it doesn't tend to have bits in. I mean, can you see that? That's quite nice. I don't have to go through, look at that, a tiny, tiny bit there. But that's actually quite unusual. That stood out. Yeah, I don't have to go through pulling things out or anything. It's fine enough for seed compost. I think, yeah, maybe the nutrition value is different to what you'd have in a proper seed compost. I don't know, but it's worked for me. So now, I'll get the seeds back out of the packet. Ooh, bits of plastic, I'm going to put them back in. And all I'm going to do, put that there. You've seen so many people do this so many times. Make sure you don't put it in flat because it might rot off. Probably won't, but just to sort of lessen that possibility, pop it on its side. Oh, don't drop it, pop it. Like that. About, I'll show you. Dibbed about ½ an inch there, maybe an inch. Then you can just push it down again. That's the beauty with these. Let me show you close up. Now for a close up. Okay. Dib. You don't even need to dib with this compost. It's like Monty Don on the Gardener's World. His compost, you can just look at it and it parts. Right, okay. Cover it up. Oh no, now which ones have I done? Oh, I do this all the time. Have I done that one? I've done that one. Oh, I've done that one. So I haven't done that one. Look, you can just push it in. Okay, absolutely, that's all there is to it. Da-da-da-da! There we go. And a quick update on the elephant garlic. I'm so thrilled with this, you know, it's looking so good. But I'm very, very wary that we had allium leaf miner on this site last year. So it's been covered since it went in actually, but especially important now. Now it's April. Now's the time that the moth, would it be a moth? The leaf miner anyway starts to be active. So yeah, if you've had any incidents of leaf miner on your plot, it might be worth covering your onions. Okay, this is one of the 2 apple trees that we transplanted from the old allotment last autumn, and as you can see it's coming nicely, but what I want to do, I've gone and bought a couple of these log rolls to go around so that when I'm strimming it's not going to accidentally clip the apple tree, but also create a little bit of a bed that I can top up with, I don't know, manure, fertiliser, all that sort of palaver, so that the apple tree has got a little area of its own. So, as if by magic, here's one we started earlier. So what's happened is basically I've just scraped away the turf from the base of the tree. There wasn't a lot, to be honest. I mean, you can see by the state of it, yeah, it's not in a great condition at the moment. It hasn't been trimmed yet at all. But yeah, unlocked one of these nice rolls, and I think actually that is just going to create a really nice area to be able to keep on top of the apple tree, mulch it as and when, and yeah, just to be able to give it some TLC. So what I'm going to do now, I don't know if you've ever used these rolls before, but there's different ways of doing everything. Many different ways to suck an egg. Is that, I don't know if that's even a saying. Anyway, we could just put stakes in and attach it to it, but what I like to do is get a rough idea where I'm going to go, which is place that there, and then dig a little trench and backfill it with soil. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so what I've got here is, let's see, I've got a shallow trench, just exactly where I want it, not exactly circular, but will do. And what I'm going to do now is try and make this little log border fit. Okay, fingers crossed. Oh. It's worked.
Yeah, good.
It's worked. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So all I need to do now is backfill. Okay, it's sort of not quite exactly circular. I think I've invented a new shape, but yeah, that'll do the job nicely. So yeah, backfill and we're done. That now is quite solid. Oh, apart from that really wobbly bit. But you know what? We can just put stuff around that and it'll knit together and that'll be fine. Pleased with that. And not that we're competitive at all, but there's Mike's, which is actually a bit more circular than mine. But you know, we're all different. Look at this! It's t-shirt weather. It's just absolutely glorious. I mean, it's Easter weekend coming up, bank holiday. It always rains on bank holiday. It means Mike and I have got some time off work, which means we can come to the allotment, and the weather is just perfect. This never happens. There's got to be something wrong. But yeah, absolutely glorious. And what's been great today is since we took the allotment on, we've spent most of our time planning, building things, even if it's like building paths, collecting bark, you know what I mean, building little raised beds and that sort of thing, and thinking about where things are going to go and what's going to happen and imagining what it's going to look like. And just today, I mean, just putting those beans in before, to get your hands in the soil and to start actually doing the planting, it's just lovely. And it reminds you, you know, what you love about it all. Not that I haven't enjoyed doing the structural stuff. I've enjoyed every bit. Most of it. Some of it. Well, I've enjoyed looking forward to what it's going to be like. But yeah, it's like you're starting to realise it now. You're realising your allotment dream. And this is the start of all the things you've been waiting to do. So yeah, that's great. And the asparagus. Okay. I'd just like to set the world to rights on my asparagus. I do apologise if I've caused an asparagus kerfuffle, but I do want to reassure people that when I planted the asparagus, I mean, on the bit of film, and it was only really when I played it back I realised I should have done it in more detail. On the film, you see the asparagus crowns laid out, okay, and that was purely for the spacing. Okay, because I didn't have a little measure, I hadn't done any maths, I was just trying to work out even spacing between them all. I would like to reassure you that I did go back and took the roots down, the teeny tiny, to be fair, little trench that I'd done on either side. But I did have, excuse me, I did have the crown sitting on the top and the roots going down either side. I didn't just leave them flat on the surface and then rake them over. Because I know, yeah, I've been told off, I've had my hand slapped about that one. So yeah, the asparagus will be absolutely fine. I mean, it is the first time I've ever planted it, so it's going to be, it's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But yeah, I did it as good as I think, as good as I think I could have done. And yeah, hopefully, so my asparagus will be fine, as will my broad beans and everything else that's planted. I'm determined we're not going to have any trouble at all. Such is the optimism of early April. What else to tell you? Oh, I wanted to show you my compost. I've shown you that. I've done my cheeky prints. Cheeky Prince Challenge, showing you me blooming sunflowers. I don't know where we're going to put all these sunflowers, you know. The idea was I was going to do one in a pot, but I kept finding packets of seeds from years gone by, so you think, well, I may as well put them in. So I think there might be quite a few neighbours start to have sunflowers popping up in the middle of their plots that, you know, we'll blame the pigeons or something like that. Anyway, yes, another thing I did want to show you, and I mentioned this in the last video, which was only a few days ago. What's going on? I mentioned my little gardening handbook that I got off my daughter. Oh, two things I got. Both daughters, look. Gardening handbook off one daughter, common shrew off the other one. But yeah, this is the little handbook that I got that replaces, oh, it won't come out now. There. The one that I had for the other plot, and it's just so nice. It's already, look, it's got one of these things. I won't show my address, but it, you know, you put your name and address in. And it's got summer jobs, it's got a seed sowing thing. Mike's already written in it. He didn't ask permission, but he's written in it. It's just got all sorts, it's got place for your photos and everything. But what I like is this little pocket at the back, because in the pocket at the back, I don't know why I'm standing up, I'll sit down again. I've got my seed list. Now, I've remembered to bring this down. I've got to get into the habit of bringing this down to the plot with me, because it's no good me leaving it at the plot, because I like to read it at home. That sounds sad, just so I know where I'm up to. Can you see? So I've got 3 pages of things that are going to be planted, have been planted, etc, etc. And it's the first time, oh yeah, and this is the most important bit. This bit here is for all the extras that I'd forgotten about. And actually we're going to have to turn over the page, because the extras are probably going to be, I don't know, that seed list again? I don't know. But as it is, I can keep that in there, and then I've got all my notes together, she says, not being able to get it in. But yeah, if you have just started a plot, I mean, obviously doing the videos, that does sort of keep you up to date, but there's so much more that you do that doesn't go on film. So it's probably just as well. But keep a notebook, you know, especially if it's your first year. You'll be so thrilled when you can look back, even if you're looking back in September, and to see what you planted, and you're looking at your harvest. But the best thing is for next year, because you'll be able to think, oh yeah, I did this last year. I've got, in my diary, we've got a wisteria at home outside the front of the house, and every year I put the date the first wisteria flower opens. And it's interesting because it can be 3 or 4 weeks either side of a particular date, and I've been doing that for about 10 years, and I've got to say this year it's a bit late, but never mind. But yeah, they're so useful. So if you can get yourself something that's going to last, you know, that you can use for a few years. I mean, an ordinary diary is fine, but you will want something like with gold everlasting diaries. Can't get it in there now, I'll leave it on there. Everlasting diaries, where you can go back the next year and you've got the same day but the following year. They're just great. Anyway, it seems that somebody's telling me to shut up now. I've got a strimmer over there, I've got something over there, I don't know what that is, I think it might be a rotavator, and all of a sudden I've got my mic on. I've got to say, you know, it's going to be a right tinker if we've got this hot weather and I've got to wear t-shirts, because I don't know where to put my mic. I'm leaving that there. But yeah, it's been lovely to be able to come out and do this bit extra this week. I hope you don't mind this being an extra video. And I hope you're all getting on well. I hope wherever you are, you're going to be able to enjoy some sort of nice weather. But yeah, take a look at my Facebook page, links below, take a look at my Instagram page, and yeah, if you like this, subscribe, and I'll try and get some more out. I'm going to try and be more regular. Okay, I'll see you very soon. Bye.